Welcome to Guitar Lessons for Beginners. This is video 4 of 6. I'm Jake with Guitar Gym Pro. I'm excited to have you here. Let's keep going with what we've been learning. So last time we worked on the strumming pattern for Will the Circle Be Unbroken. We already had learned the chords. Today's goal is we're going to learn to speak, or actually sing or speak the song. So I know we may not all be singers here. I'm certainly not the most proficient singer, but it is a great tool for keeping our place in the song. Also, if we're going to sing this around the campfire with other people, it's really important that we're able to kick it off and show people where to start. So we're going to work on singing it, but even if you're not comfortable with singing, we're going to make sure that we can speak the song, and I'm going to give you some awesome tips to get ready to sing. At the end, I've got some bonus vocal exercises that will work well for you, make you feel a little more confident singing and get a little more used to singing. All right, let's talk about starting to sing. So the first thing we're going to do is listen to the first section of the song. So I'm using the Carter family recording just because I think it's pretty classic. I'm going to go ahead and start that.
I was standing by the window on one cold and cloudy day.
All right, we'll use just that spot right there to be the beginning of the song that we're going to work, that first little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sing along with that part. I'm learning the vocal away from learning the guitar, and I'm doing this on purpose. I'm trying to take away something new playing the guitar and something new singing, and I'm going to put it in and I'm going to make it simpler to learn each thing on its own. So here we go, and I'm just demonstrating this. I got to go further back.
I was standing by the window on one cold and cloudy day, and I saw.
And so I can notice little things in that. So like, I was standing by the window. He did 2 notes there. On one cold and it's on one instead of he's saying on one cold and cloudy day. He did 2 notes on day. So this is a song. It's like a traditional song. I've been playing it forever, so I might do it a little different than he does it and all those things. But if I'm just learning, I'm trying to notice those little things. Where are they happening? So I'm just trying to get to where I'm singing along. Now, depending on your singing proficiency and how much you want to be good at singing or all those things, I mean, you can put a lot of effort into learning it, or you can be like, man, I'm starting the phrases where he starts them. It's close enough. I get the idea. But the goal is to match the recording. I'm able to sing along with the recording, with the vocal. Be okay with being not great yet. So when we first start to sing, we aren't going to be amazing at it. I mean, if you've been singing for a while, you can ignore this advice, but if you're new to it, it's okay to not sound amazing. And I think singing is one of those things where we really struggle with it. And this is a true thing that's true even of guitar, not just singing. Of music in general, we tend to think that we should be good at it when we approach it as an adult. So let me see what I mean. So when I take a 10-year-old kid who's playing guitar, they don't have any concept of what good or bad at being a guitar player is. I mean, it depends on how old of a soul they are and all that kind of stuff. But in general, they grab the guitar and we play a power chord, and they're just like, this is cool. I like it. And they go home and they play that power chord or the 2 power chords we learn over and over again all week, and they get pretty good at it. But they stunk when they first got there. You know, it's sloppy. It doesn't sound good. They're struggling, but it doesn't matter because it's fun and it sounds cool and it feels cool to play guitar. And so they just play. And as adults, we go, it didn't sound good. I want to go back and work on it until it sounds good, and maybe I'll get it to be better. But the problem is the way we get it to be better is by experimenting and playing over and over again and having fun doing it. And it's the same with singing. If you're okay with sounding not great now, you will end up sounding pretty darn good later. So that's just my advice with music, with singing, with everything. All right, so let's talk about the chords. I got this labeled how we strum instead of the chords, but really what we're going to do is talk about adding in the strum. So I'm realizing that this song is actually capo on the 1st fret. And so if you have a capo, you can do this with me. Otherwise, we're just going to not sound together. We're going to be playing slightly different chords just because this Carter family recording is capo 1. And so it'll affect how these chords sound just a little bit. So if you've never used a capo before, what a capo is it's a device that pinches the strings and pushes down the fret. It's functioning like our finger does in a bar chord. And so what it's doing is it's just pushing down all these strings behind the first fret at once. Now this is a G7th capo. It's like a tension capo. There's a mechanism in there that keeps it squeezing. You'll see them sometimes. There'll be a big clamp with a spring. There's some where you kind of wrap it around. There's all sorts. And they're all going to do the trick. This is kind of the big thing that we're trying to do with the capo. So where I was playing the G on 3rd fret, now I play 3rd fret in relation to the capo on 1st fret. So it's 4th fret, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's really only 3rd, 1, 2, 3, because I'm counting my capo as the new 0, if that makes sense. So we're going to add the chords back in. I was standing, and I'm only going to strum the chords once per measure or when the chords change. So let me demonstrate and show you what I mean by that. So the first, I was standing by the window on one cold and cloudy day. So I'm just doing the one strum, only where those chords change, or on beat 1, just to kind of keep it going. So I've gotten rid of most of the strum pattern. And that's in order to make it, again, easier. Just like we were learning the guitar alone, we were learning the singing alone. If you'd like some support in learning to play this, you can join my free community and course. I've got tons of guitar teaching material there. I do live Q&As, all that stuff. It's at school.com, school with a K, /guitar. Guitar Gym Pro, Gateway to Guitar is the program, and I got a ton of fun stuff there. All right, now we're doing it on our own, right? So we're trying to do what we just did. We can start by trying to do it with the recording, right? And then ultimately we want to do it without the recording. So let me show you what it's like with the recording. I was standing by the window on one cold and cloudy day. So you get the idea there. That's playing it with the recording. And then on our own, I was standing I was standing, there we go, by the window on one cold and cloudy day. Right, so I'm taking it with the record because it makes it easier to feel where things are, to follow along with them, because we learned to sing it with the record. And the next step is to do it on our own. So I've got this written out here for the chorus, just so we can try to do that all on our own. You can pause the video and look at it. You can see the chords. You can see where they line up with the lyric. And then you can work on singing it. So the first note of the chorus, will the circle, okay. So it's, will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by. There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. And so we can see where those chords are lining up as we're singing and playing it. So now we want to add in the strumming. So we're going to start by playing with the recording and adding in the strumming again. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cue up the chorus here. I think it's right about... Can the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by?
There's a bitter home awaiting.
All right, and then our next step is we're going to try to record it try to play it by ourselves without the recording. And so I've got it up here again. So now we're not just doing the chords where they change, but also we're doing the strumming. Can the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. So let's do a little bit of bonus on the vocal exercises now that we know how to practice that for the song. So the first one would be to talk the rhythm. If you feel really uncomfortable singing, if you don't feel confident, if you're not ready to do it, will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better, right? We can just talk the rhythm. That's a great place to start because that's the most important part. Say it over and over again. Rhythm is the most important part of music. Another one we can do is a yawn or a sigh, where we start at the highest that we can get to, all the way down to the lowest that we can sing. That's really good if you feel like you can't sing more than just a few notes. You're like, wait a minute, I'm so used to talking, which is at this one pitch. I can't really go up there. I can't really go down there. And that's okay. This is really going to help us connect that yawn or that sigh will help us connect those two parts of our vocal register. The next thing that we can do are called lip bubbles, where we're literally just pushing air through our lips, but we're actually doing it on a pitch. It kind of seems goofy, but the reason this works is because we have to use a certain amount of pressure to get our lips to do that bubble. And usually when we are singing, we actually use way too much air. Our brains go, I'm singing now, this is serious. And we get nervous, almost like we're, playing, whatever in some sort of like game. It happens during like sports events all the time where like you go play the game and then tension is higher. Now that helps your breathing open up to play a game, a sport, right? Like you're playing whatever, tennis or soccer or whatever, football. But for guitar or singing, we're using such tiny muscles. When that adrenaline goes up, our ability to perform goes way down. And so we're trying to practice that perfect balance of just enough air to get a good clear sound, but not too much. So that's where those lip bubbles come in. And the last exercise I'm going to talk about, I call fake notes. I don't even remember where I heard this, but so instead of singing the actual melody, will the circle, this is to help us not be in the like, oh, I'm singing now mindset, but will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by, right? We're just singing some sort of fake melody on all the notes. And this is to really help us get used to doing it. I know it's really weird, and I'm not even doing that one while playing. That's just, will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by. Like I'm just singing some simple 3-note pattern, whatever it is. Every note, every word is even. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Like it's to trick our brain from being so singy and aggressive when we're singing, because we want to sing like we talk. We want it to be somewhat effortless. We don't want to put a ton of emphasis and a ton of pressure on ourselves to sound good. So that's just a little trick that's helped me out a lot, because I tend to push really hard when I sing and like try a lot, because I'm like, oh no, I'm singing. And I found with a lot of my students, that is also something they do. All right, so what's next? Go to school.com/guitar, and sign up for my free community and course. So you can post videos of you playing, pictures with questions so you can get answers from me. I do live Q&As on there, live masterclasses, and I've got a full guitar program on there. I've got tons and tons of good stuff. And if right now you just need a song to play, go ahead and you can check out this video here.